We are recording. Hello, everyone, and we'd like to welcome you to the Nehemiah Center with the National Apprenticeship Week as we celebrate the National Apprenticeship Week with Apprenticeship NC. We thank you for joining us today for our virtual luncheon. So make sure you grab your lunch, get on your PC, on your tablet, or your smartphone, because you're going to hear and learn today about the apprenticeship training and how it is important for us, especially in the minority and women in this field, to get into the IT and cybersecurity fields. We'd like to again welcome you to our virtual lunch and learn. And today's presenters are Ms. Tiffany Jacobs, who is our moderator from ApprenticeshipNC and AAUW, Mr. Tony Marshall from ISG Cybersecurity, Ms. Deidre Hobbs from GXO Logistics and also an AAUW member, and Mr. Kevin Robinson from R Triad Enterprises, LLC. My name is Pastor Randy, and I'm the host and the president and CEO of the Nehemiah Community Empowerment Center. I am also an AAUW member. At the Nehemiah Center, we offer ITF training and certification to ensure that individuals can increase their technical ability, acquire the work experience needed, and the job experience needed to become gainfully employed. With our community partners with Apprenticeship NC, NC Works, and the Guilford Workforce Development Board, we also provide paid work experience training so you can earn while you learn. And this hands-on experience is very, very important in order for individuals to be prepared, certified, and qualified to attain and accomplish any task on any given computer-oriented job. We also have our Phenomenal Women in STEM IT program, where women can also attain their IT certification, but also be able to provide on-site childcare. This is one of the barriers that a lot of women are encompassed with because they cannot find the childcare. So while the women are actually attaining their ITF certification, we will provide computer and STEM and age-based and age-appropriate activities for even the young ones to start getting involved in the STEM. Enrollment is starting right now for the winter of 2023, and later on, you will be able to go to our website to learn more on how to enroll in our dynamic programs. Our first introduction is, of course, our Ms. Tiffany Jacobs, who is our moderator. She is the Regional Coordinator of Apprenticeship NC and AAUW's DEI Officer. I'd like to speak a little bit about Ms. Tiffany's bio. Tiffany Jacob currently serves again as the Piedmont Triad Regional Apprenticeship Coordinator for Apprenticeship NC, which is part of the Economic Development Division of the North Carolina Community College System. She has been with the Apprenticeship NC for almost 4 years, and she covers 11 counties across the Piedmont Triad, assisting employees in developing registered apprenticeship programs to meet high-demand business and industry needs. Tiffany is an active member for the American Association of University Women, which is AAUW. She is also a board member for the Tab Arts Center nonprofit, as well as the board diversity officer for the Forge Greensboro, a community makerspace in downtown Greensboro. Tiffany was a recipient of the 2022 Outstanding Women in Business Award right here in Greensboro, the 2023 Leaders in Diversity Award issued by the Triad Business Journal. She works tirelessly, and I'm going to tell you again, tirelessly, to make sure and to aid in creating a better skilled, diverse workforce to not just close the gaps, but to close the skills gap, but the equity gap as well, to increase the economic development opportunities throughout the state of North Carolina. I'd like to welcome you all to Ms. Tiffany Jacobs.
Oh, thank you, Pastor Randy. I appreciate that. So first, I want to talk a little bit about National Apprenticeship Week. National Apprenticeship Week is a nationwide celebration where employers, industry associations, labor organizations, community-based organizations, workforce partners, education providers, and government leaders all host events to showcase the successes and show the value of registered apprenticeship. Apprenticeships are instrumental in rebuilding our economy, advancing racial and gender equity, building a pipeline to good quality jobs, and supporting underserved communities. Next slide.
Hi, I'm Acting Secretary of Labor Julie Sue, and I'm excited to wish you a happy National Apprenticeship Week. One of the best parts of my job is meeting with workers in pre-apprenticeship and registered apprenticeship programs around the country, like Robert from Pittsburgh. When Robert found out he was going to be a new father, he knew that he needed a better paying job. So he went through the Operating Engineers Apprenticeship Program. Now he's a crane operator. And Robert told me that he earned more in his first week at his new union job than he made in a month in his prior job. He's also been able to buy a home. And Robert is looking forward to showing his son the new airport terminal that he's helping to build. President Biden's Investing in America agenda is rebuilding our country's infrastructure, repairing roads, bridges, airports, and ports. I think of the workforce system as infrastructure too, the roads and bridges that connect people to the good jobs they want and need, and employers to the people that they want and need. This infrastructure has to be as strong as our physical infrastructure. And registered apprenticeships are the superhighways of this system. They're one of the most powerful tools that we have for workers to find and secure their place in the middle class. Registered apprenticeships open up these opportunities for people of color, women, and communities that have been historically left behind. This is a priority for President Biden and for me and the entire Department of Labor. We're putting equity at the heart of everything we do because all of America's workers should be able to access the superhighways that connect them to good jobs and the middle class. That's why we're focused on expanding, diversifying, and modernizing the registered apprenticeship system. And we couldn't do it without our excellent partners, including employers, unions, workforce boards, community colleges, community organizations, mayors, governors, and more. So I want to thank you all for taking part in this week's activities. And I want to invite you to partner with us throughout the year too. Consider becoming one of our apprenticeship ambassadors to support and champion registered apprenticeship programs. Share your story like Robert did to inspire more career seekers. And keep spreading the word about how these pathways to the middle class work. Together, we can pave the superhighway that leads to a better future for all of America's workers.
Thank you. While this is the 9th year that nationally we celebrate National Apprenticeship Week, this is actually the 4th year that Nehemiah Community Empowerment Center, AUW, and the American Association of University Women and ApprenticeshipNC, the state agency for apprenticeship programs in North Carolina, have come together to present an event to highlight and celebrate not only the benefits of registered apprenticeship programs, but also the importance of diverse representation in IT, cybersecurity, and other STEM-related pathways. The governor has issued for the state of North Carolina a proclamation for National Apprenticeship Week here in North Carolina, and also the Nehemiah Community Empowerment Center has also issued a proclamation. The Nehemiah Community Empowerment Center's apprenticeship program was based on the idea that representation matters. If I can see it, I can be it. IT and cybersecurity are critical fields that protects our most important and private information. However, there is a severe shortage of qualified IT and cybersecurity workers, especially with today's constantly changing cybersecurity needs. In addition to this existing skills gap, there's also an equity gap. Historically underrepresented populations such as women, People of color and individuals with disabilities are vastly underrepresented in most of our high demand industry sectors. The director of the National Science Foundation was quoted as saying, "Diversity is America's unique advantage in science and technology. Our global leadership depends upon bringing unique insights to problem solving and discovery. Registered apprenticeship is recognized as a key strategy to improving job quality and creating access to good paying jobs for all." Our guests today are leaders in their field. They are here to share their wisdom and experience and also their personal stories, and I'm certain that their words will inspire us. Next slide. Tony Marshall, owner and founder of ISG Cyber. Tony is a STEM entrepreneur with over 25 years of experience resolving complex technology-based challenges. His vision is to provide cybersecurity services while building the next generation cybersecurity workforce. In a talent-scarce environment, Tony and team developed a federally recognized cybersecurity apprenticeship program that has proven to be a very successful and scalable talent development model. He and his team offered a revolutionary cybersecurity apprenticeship model that effectively integrates education, training, certification, and work-based learning. His driving passion is to advance ISG Cyber as the premier provider of cybersecurity services while building cybersecurity careers. Within this vision is a need to address the needs of veterans, veteran spouses, and underrepresented populations. Thank you for joining us today, Tony.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Deidre Hobbs is a seasoned principal database engineer architect with 25 plus years of experience in the industry. Currently at GXO Logistics in High Point, North Carolina, she excels in delivering database solutions for top e-commerce clients like Amazon, Apple, and Nike. With a BS in Information Systems and Operations Management from UNC Greensboro, go Spartans, Deidre is passionate about optimizing database performance, security, and scalability. She's a key player at GXO Logistics, recognized as one of the top women leaders at GXO Logistics, and has received the GXO Logistics Impact Award for 4 consecutive years. In her spare time, Deidre enjoys family moments with her daughter Kennedy and actively advocates for diversity, equity, and inclusion. She is a member of the American Association of University Women and is inspired by the words of Poet Laureate Amanda Gorman. There is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. She believes that technology's power to drive positive change. Next slide. Kevin Robinson is the co-founder and chief technology officer for R Triad Enterprises, LLC, a commercial cloud and cybersecurity training and consulting firm. He is building a cloud army, primarily by launching NAW, the world's first leading and career development community for cloud computing professionals. It includes networking with experts, mentoring, coaching, and community mindshare to accelerate this process, shortening the distance between experts and enthusiasts, transforming the potential of this human resource into a talent as a service workforce built for the gig economy. He has a Microsoft certified trainer alumni credential and holds several current certifications in Microsoft Cloud technology like Office 365 and Azure. He started his career working for IBM and most recently retired from Microsoft after 12 years, many of those focused on cloud technology. As most of you know, technology is moving faster than anyone can keep up with, and Kevin experienced this firsthand training Microsoft's top field technical professionals to deliver solutions in this area. It led him to start a company that is innovating and accelerating learning and building social capital. Kevin likes to say, no one knows it all, primarily because we need to emphasize network-enabled learning and mentoring. Thank you to all of our guests for being here today. Next slide. Thank you, Tony. You may begin.
Good afternoon. First of all, thank you all for showing an interest in this subject and being a part of this presentation. One of the things I'd like to say is that cybersecurity and information and technology in general is a high demand profession, not only now but in the future. When I came into the profession, I came in as a mainframe programmer, and technology. We've seen a lot of changes in technology going forward. Unfortunately, one of the things that we have to think about is that for years, if we're a student of history, we know that many of the people that look like us had many challenges. We now have a tremendous number of opportunities in front of us, and it's up to us to make sure that we gain and expand those opportunities. The best way that you can do that is by expanding your skill set. Everything that you can do to make sure that you're prepared for the workforce and that you've got the both education credentials and the know-how, and that shows up on your resume, you are doing yourself and your community a good service. Today, the way you get ahead is a little different. Many people don't know a lot about apprenticeship, but hopefully today you'll know a bit more about apprenticeship. Apprenticeship is the pathway to the future. Apprenticeship is nothing more than work-based learning. It is learning how to do things on the job. Many times we see people that come into the profession who have a lot of, who know a lot, they just can't do a lot. At the end of the day, when I'm looking to hire people, I'm looking for people that can get the job done. If you show up and you tell me that you've got a PhD in 8 subjects, but you can't get my job done, you're not that impressive to me. But if you show up and you can get anything that I need done, I could care less whether you have a high school education. I need you to be able to get it done. What apprenticeship does is give you an opportunity to do that. And hopefully from others that you'll get a chance to listen, that you'll hear on this presentation, you'll hear about how apprenticeship can benefit you. So at this point, I'll pause and see if we can let some of our other distinguished panel members speak.
Deidre.
Good afternoon. First of all, thank you, Pastor Randy and the Nehemiah Empowerment Center for your gracious intro. I'm here because I would like to share with you what I term tech success. I would like to walk you through what it looks like after you've landed a job. It really takes a forward-thinking mindset with a solid blueprint for achieving success in the tech world. I vividly recall the moment when I too was a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed engineer navigating the intricate landscape of code innovation. And as I reflect back on those initial days, I'm reminded of a quote by Brené Brown that really speaks to the resilience of working in tech, especially in rooms where everyone doesn't look like you. And the quote goes, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how strong the man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly." Welcome to the arena. Let's talk about trashing mediocrity. Mediocrity refers to the state or quality of being average, ordinary, or moderate quality. It often speaks of excellence, innovation, or exceptional performance. Tech leaders who strive to excel in their careers often need to rise above mediocrity by embracing creativity, pushing boundaries, and consistently delivering outstanding results. One example is from someone we know very well, Steve Jobs. As we all know, he's the co-founder of Apple. Steve Jobs was known for trashing mediocrity in product design. When developing the iPhone, he didn't settle for a typical phone with a physical keyboard. Instead, he pushed for a revolutionary device with a touchscreen, changing the entire smartphone industry. His refusal to accept mediocrity in product design and his emphasis on innovation set Apple apart. You need to set high standards. I encourage you to have an infinite mindset. Be in competition with yourself, not your peers, but yourself. It keeps you focused towards your goal. I'm often referred to as playing on team too much. I wear doing the most as a badge of honor. The overachiever side of me has allowed me to climb the corporate ladder and break my own glass ceilings. It's the efficiency for me. Next slide. I encourage you to let your work speak for itself. Letting one's work speak for itself is a powerful approach for tech leaders, allowing the quality and the impact of their contributions to shine without excessive self-promotion. One example, a person we all know well, Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, has often let the innovation and performance of Tesla's electric cars speak for themselves. The success of Tesla's vehicles, driven by their cutting-edge technology and performance, has garnered attention and admiration without the need for traditional advertising. Musk's emphasis on creating exceptional products has become a hallmark of his leadership style. As you elevate, so will your haters. But the attacks fall flat because the attacks can't stand up to the body of work you've created, because you prescribe to the philosophy to not only let your work speak for itself, but to also trash mediocrity. Your work will stand all by itself without you even being in the room. Next slide. I encourage you to stay curious. One of my favorites. I'm a overanalytical person by nature. I often find myself jumping down rabbit holes because every single aspect of technology literally fascinates me. I'm a self-professed nerd. I love it all, and I encourage you to stretch yourself. I want to share one of my experiences at a tech conference that I went to a couple months ago in Vegas. It was massive. It was over 10,000 people from all over the world who converged in Vegas to hear and learn all things Oracle. My itinerary was packed from 8 to 5 every day. I went to every session, workshop, spoke to leaders in my industry, and it was great. I went to sessions that related specifically to my job, sessions for executives who are way above my pay grade, and sessions where I think I might want to be in the next 5 years. I stretched myself. I know artificial intelligence is coming for me. It's coming for everyone's job. So I started looking into product engineering and even reached out to some of the senior product engineers at Oracle so I could keep them in my Rolodex of networking professionals. You'll find me reading and researching about product engineers on a daily basis. Staying curious is a valuable trait for tech leaders, as it fosters a continuous desire to learn, explore new ideas, and adapt to evolving technologies. I want to share a couple of emerging technologies, and some of our speakers on the panel today excel in that. Grateful to be here in their presence too. One of them is artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analysts, anything in cybersecurity, project management, if tech skills is not your thing, but you still want to stay in the tech area, product engineers, anything cloud engineering, basically anything engineering. Next slide. This is one of my favorites. Play chess, not checkers. Playing chess rather than checkers and being strategic, that's the key word, strategic, involves thinking several moves ahead, anticipating consequences, and making decisions based on a broader understanding of the landscape. Amazon, under the leadership of Jeff Bezos, exemplifies this strategic approach. Instead of solely focusing on e-commerce, Bezos strategically expanded Amazon services into areas such as cloud computing, also known as Amazon Web Services, streaming, we all know well, Amazon Prime Video, and smart devices, Amazon Echo. I love my Alexa. This chess-like strategy allowed Amazon to become a tech giant with a diversified portfolio, reducing dependency on any single market. So as you start to move around in tech and build relationships, it's important for you to realize that these are working relationships and they're just that. The one thing that brought you all together is the work. Some might disagree, but work is not to be confused with family. Families have a different dynamic than office relationships. I encourage you to take a quick assessment of how your manager operates. Anticipate what makes him or her click. Try to walk in their shoes to understand their perspective. I quickly learned from one of my former managers that she didn't like surprises and she liked to be in control. She wasn't liked by many. Some may have said she was abrasive. I learned quickly that she didn't like surprises. She liked to be kept up to date. So that's what I did. She got updates on things whether she liked them or not. She was always kept informed so that when she went into her meetings, she was prepared. I never had a problem out of her, although others did. Some say I was being fake. I'm not doing all of that. I call it peace of mind because I slept well at night, and it showed up in my performance review and a bump in my salary. Play chess, not checkers. Asked to be on the project. Some say it's more work, but really it's elevating your skill set, and you'll be invited to the meetings to see how senior leaders move and collaborate with some of the brightest minds in the business. Your eagerness will elevate you to your next role. That's what I do. I'm always asking to be placed on projects. I know my skill set will be elevated, hence the principal in my title. And last slide. Thank you so much. That's a wrap. One of my love languages is acts of service, and I hope these tips bring you much success in your tech journey. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. Over to you, Tiffany, Pastor Randy.
Thank you, Deidre. Kevin, you are up next.
Thank you, Deidre. That was awesome. From my perspective, and I started my career with joining IBM in 1981. As you might expect, in that many years, fighting against the digital divide, they called it back then, has been a primary driver and passion for me. Knowing what the opportunity that exists for economic mobility for our community is. And I experienced that personally. As you might suspect, I also experienced quite a bit of adversity. Many times being the only person that looked like me in the room, I found ways, much to Deidre's presentation, to kill mediocrity. And I think that's a key aspect, and to be curious and learn as much as I could in the places I was at, even from my adversaries. Many times because of the comment, keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer. You have to look at the people that maybe don't want you to succeed, might as well go ahead and be the key factors in your success, is the way I look at it. So I had a lot of fun in that perspective. I'm a big fan of Columbo. I don't know if anybody's seen that. It's an old television program where someone asked, detective asked what seems to be ridiculous questions, and his foes always fall because they start responding to the questions and telling him more than he actually asked for. So just one strategy I had in, people underestimating me, people really thinking that maybe I wasn't competent enough or qualified enough to do the work. So I use those strategies, being strategic, as Deidre mentioned, to start to really hone in on what is it that I can use to make myself more successful. And I think when we look at apprenticeship, this is the best of all worlds, the ability for someone to come in, work side by side with experts. All of the apprentices that we bring in have to have a mentor who's an expert in that field. So you're actually working side by side with someone who is a master craftsman, so to speak. This has gone back thousands of years as a training mechanism and has been the cornerstone of so many societies before us. When we think of masons, when we think of people that were engineers and architects, this is the methodology that was used to make sure that people learned and were not just getting information, but skills building requires some experience, some ability to try, some ability to fail, particularly in our technology today. We talk about failing fast and failing often. It's a principle that allows you to move faster than your competition. So I would really highlight the fact that the apprenticeships that we run, we get into real life scenarios. We teach people how to work in teams in the environment that they'll be expected to work in other employers. Excuse me. And when we talk about creating a more diverse and inclusive workforce, we really have to recognize the fact that most of us, before being involved in technology, had no idea what that environment looks like. So I talked to a lot of my mentees about, don't show up to a football game in a basketball uniform. You really have to know what game you're playing, and you have to understand what's expected of you when you show up. To Tony's point earlier, he said, hey, listen, I need you to be able to do the job. Make sure you understand and you're aligned with what it takes to do the job. And that may be networking with people that are in the job that you desire to have. So that's a lot of what we really teach and preach is people have to start by saying, I'm curious, and follow up by making sure you make the connections with other individuals and professionals that can help you understand what it's really like, and not some imagined idea, some Hollywood idea of what this role is. Because a lot of these roles, I'm going to be quite frank, they're tough. They're not for everybody. So know which ones are for you, which ones you bring some skills and some real ability to make a difference, a contribution to the organization that you want to be a part of, and to know that you're valued in what you do. And if you're not valued, how to start looking for another place where you will be valued. Because I will tell you, there are a lot of times and a lot of places folks stay in places that they should not. If the organization does not see you as valuable and you're not able to deliver and contribute at a level that's valuable, I've done it before where I've had to convince the leaders that I was working for that what I did had value. And so that's a lot of the things that, you know, we as minorities face sometimes, in terms of they're not going to recognize your value unless you actually know your value. So I think in the work that we do with our apprentices, we teach them how to speak in interviews and let people know what valuable they have, what transferable skills they have, what opportunity they would like to be given. Ask for what you're trying to do so that you might show the employer that you're eager to be a contributor. So with that, I'll pause and let my other distinguished panelists talk, but those are where I see most of the benefits of apprenticeship.
That is awesome. We'd like to thank all of you all for the great pointers. And if you are a young apprentice or a young person or even an older person looking to go into the apprenticeship program, you can really get some great tips from the leaders, the prominent leaders in IT and cybersecurity that's joined us today. But nothing is better than a testimony. Let me tell you. It takes a village. It really, really does. It really does take a village. And I am so proud to be partnered with ApprenticeshipNC, with CompTIA, and with NC Works, because all of these entities have allowed us to position a young person that has been with us for 3 years now. And I want you to hear our apprentice prodigy and success story from Mr. Andre Jones. Here's Andre.
Hey, my name is Andre Jones, and I am a pre-apprentice with Nehemiah Community Empowerment Center. With the Nehemiah Community Empowerment Center, through meeting a lady, Cynthia Tyler, one day after I quit my most recent job, I was in Big Lots, and we happened to strike a conversation in the technology section, and that's where she forwarded me the information of Pastor Randy and also the details about the Nehemiah Community Empowerment Center and which ways they can help me reach employment and also further my career exploration. Applied applied for the pre-apprenticeship at the Nehemiah Community Empowerment Center because after looking over the details and speaking with Ms. Cynthia, it allowed me the confidence and the ability to better grow my skills I needed in the career field, but to also help advance me into the employment and gain the career issues that I was looking at. My personal career goals is to be a system administrator. I found that passion when I was younger. I like learning technology, computers, and networking, but I didn't like just learning the hard part of it. I want to be the overseer. So the network administrator kind of gives me the opportunity to better oversee networks and computer systems and all. And for my long term is I want to eventually partner with GiftedWorks and open my own community center where I can help those individuals and adults help gain their interests, explore their interests in the career field, and also pursue those interests as well. The Nehemiah apprenticeship compares to other training alternatives in a way that it gives me more of a hand-on approach. I do have a 4-year degree, but unfortunately throughout my 4 years, one of the things that I lacked was work experience and my hands-on training. And linking up with Nehemiah and being able to join that pre-apprenticeship program gave me the opportunity to advance those skills that I already had and also develop new skills I needed in the workplace to better get the job that I needed. Adult apprenticeship program has helped me in many ways pursue my career by first of all, as a support system. Being in the age group that I'm in, I was kind of lost in searching for a job. And their adult apprenticeship program allowed me to fit in with support of people who was also understanding of my situation and where I was at and how to get there. As well, they also provided uniform funding. Some workplaces require a certain type of dress, and they were able to supply me with those dress things that I needed. No fee of charge, as well as also a toolkit for my career field. So they also provide necessary tools in your career field to help you get started and be successful. My experience working with NC Work so far has been great. I've been able to tighten up on my soft skills. Have a little bit of past with that already, but you can always get better. And as well, I was big on the support system, but that's really big to me. And I feel like what NC Works and what they do with the adult program is that support system that gives you to continue to each step of the way to know that you have someone that's checking on you, someone that's going to make sure that you're in the line, that you make sure that you're doing the necessary things to set yourself up for success. And that's what I've learned so far from working with NC Works, and that's really been helping me continue to be successful in my journey. Being a part of an apprenticeship program has changed my personal outlook because it's also encouraged me to eventually involve myself in one. Being in the position I was in and growing to where I am now, I'm very proud of myself and the people around me that supported me throughout this journey. And to be in this position I am in now, to be able to enjoy this, I wish that for everyone and for those who also who may be looking to find themselves in their career path. So it's really helped change my personal outlook on centers and how they can help you out, and also be in place in the world post-graduation for some people who are also in my same shoes.
Let me tell you, this young man, we are so very proud of. He has actually excelled in everything. He is also now a mentor and a coach for our first robotics team, teaching the young kids programming with the robots and in the competitions. I'd like to introduce all of you to Mr. Andre Jones, who is also now our ITF trainer for the new apprentices. Mr. Andre Jones, welcome.
Hey everyone, my name is Andre. Real briefly now, it's my 3rd year in. It's been a wonderful journey so far. I've been able to grow from an apprentice who just learned computer support specialist to now I'm a network administrator. So we're managing our server here on site, all of our client devices, setting up our server. And from that point forward, I've also been able to share my knowledge and become an ITF teacher. So the apprentices that come through, I actually get the firsthand approach to being able to teach them everything that I know through all of my experience and give them everything I got from start to finish, and being able to empower them to be able to get their ITF and also figure out what path they want to go towards in their CompTIA journey, and also helping them get to that destination. So it's been a wonderful being part of an apprenticeship, but also been able to look back and throw out a rope and grab some people and help them come up as well as you go along your journey. It's been awesome. I'm very appreciative of Nehemiah for giving me the opportunity, and that's been truly a blessing, I would definitely say. So next up, we have a few introductions. I want to congratulate and I want to introduce 2 of our most recent ITF certified apprentices through our program. Here at the top, we have our assistant network administrator and computer support specialist. Kind of like a mini version of me. He kind of knows everything I know right now. It's only been about a little bit less than a year, and I think he could probably do everything I can. But
Mini Andre.
It's Joshua Cologne, and then down below as well, he came in as well. He had a late start compared to everybody else, but he took advantage of that as well. He hit the ground running, and he recently got certified as well. He's now IT manager, and that's Jermaine Francis. And now our most recent cohort we have now, they just finished up their first part of their pre-apprenticeship was the first half. And they all have been awarded their pre-apprenticeship for the computer support specialist. And the 4 that we have right now, on the top left is Darlene. To the top right is Joshua. The bottom left is Khalil, and the bottom right is Damien. And each one of these individuals as well had came in with their own background. They all had their own set of knowledge coming into the ITF class, but they all been able to apply themselves very greatly and been enjoying the class so far and has learned a lot up to this point. So we're actually getting ready to finish up and get ready to review for our exam. So we're excited, and I'm interested to see how well they do over the next few weeks.
Yes, and Andre, again, has been doing an awesome job with making sure that he again expose and get the newcomers, the young ones that are coming up, looking to pursue a career in IT. And it's very, very important that we can always remember we need to reach back for those that might be lost or might not know which way they want to go. And the ApprenticeshipNC apprenticeship programs actually gives these young people an opportunities they might not have ever gotten before, and get opportunities to learn work ethic, the soft skills that is going to be needed for them not to just get a job, but to sustain that job, to keep that job, to get promoted. And the skill sets that we are providing here at the Nehemiah Center is very, very important, so that again, when they get to that job or when they get to that location or that employer, they are already qualified, they're certified, and they're ready to work to do any task that is required of them. I'd like to hand it back over to Miss Tiffany, because this is our Q&A session. And if you have any questions, if you haven't already, go ahead and put them in the chat, and we will be happy to answer those questions. We do have some prominent people that can be able to answer any question that you have about IT or the apprenticeship program.
So,
Yeah.
Pastor Randy, if you, and Tiffany, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
I just got a couple of things. I am so excited to hear about some of the exciting things that you have going on in the community. Pastor Randy, you are to be commended for what you're doing at the Nehemiah Center. This is amazing. When we started our apprenticeship program 9 years ago, people looked at us like we were nuts. You know,
Oh,
what are you
yes.
doing? Why are you investing that much time and energy in these people? Once you train them, they're gonna leave. You know, how do you stop them from leaving? And when I hear that, the first thing I tell them is, I said, you know, I got married about 39 years ago, and I realized that there's no contract that you can write that'll stop her from leaving. You got to treat people well. And as an employer, which is what we are, we bring people in, we train them, we treat them well, we put our arms around them, and that makes for a wonderful relationship. If you find an organization that is willing to invest in you, you have to really think about it. Is that an organization you want to leave? You know, the thing is that apprenticeship helps you to build your resume. When you're in any kind of tech field, what you have to do is be a lifelong learner. And a lifelong learner, you are building your resume every day. And to do that, it requires consistent persistence. When you see somebody out there, when I heard Andre talking about it, in the first 5 seconds of him talking, you heard the passion about what he was doing. And this is an individual that's willing to share what he knows and what he does. If you're humble enough to stand next to him and say, can you help me out? Please share it. And just, you know, the information will pour out to you. I don't know how many times I look at technical people that can't move ahead because they run around spending their time pretending like they already know. The way to learn is to be humble enough to open your mind, find people that are willing to share with you, and ask them, and list down, be willing to learn. And if you're willing to do that, apprenticeship will work for you. Some of the things that I heard from Miss Deirdre and Kevin in terms of building your resume, expanding your skill set, adding value. These are basic skills. When you talk about value, when you go on a job, this is a recommendation I have for everyone. You go on the job, understand the mission of the organization. And if the mission, when you understand the mission of the organization, then your job is to help that organization meet their mission. And you've gotten there when your employer thinks, man, I sure hope Tiffany comes to work tomorrow.
No.
Then you know they need you. That's where you need to be. You need to understand where your employer needs are and help them get there. But I love the things. We've got some very, very positive people on this. There's a lot of information. I would recommend that you really open your ears and listen. There's some great information here.
Yes. And I'd like to add the other two people, gentlemen that was in the video. One was named Colin. He is up in Boston right after the apprenticeship. He was offered a position in Boston as an engineer. And the other young man, Joshua, got a cybersecurity internship starting at $25 an hour. So again, our program is really getting our younger generation ready and seasoned to be able to walk into those jobs.
Absolutely. We have a question in the chat, and it's from Day Scarberry. I just want to make sure I'm understanding the question. It's, will you explain the application process for the apprenticeship program? And I think that they're saying in terms of being an actual apprentice, so being a part of the program. So Kevin and Tony, if you want to talk about what your application process looks like in terms of if a person is interested in becoming an apprentice. And then there's also a question about how long is the apprenticeship program, and is it based on the program that you choose? So so there's a couple of questions right now, but about how long is your program, what your application look like, and what is that sort of based on? Just a little bit of background on that.
So I'll share our program. The application process, you go to our website, isgcyber.com. There's an application. You fill out the online application. And then what we do is we start working, and the three components that you're looking to do to gather to build your resume is experience, certification, and education. Those are the three holy grails as it relates to IT positions, and especially cybersecurity. Once you have those three, you're off and running. So what we do is that we have an application process. You fill it out. What we do from then is based on who you are, what you bring to the table. We start trying to find funding. No one that has been in our program has ever had to pay anything out of pocket. So we find the funding to get you the necessary certifications that you need to get started. We teach you using seasoned professionals. We try to build you as a team member, and at the point that we feel that you are a good team member, then we will try to get you into a working opportunity. No one in our we start at $50K a year. If you do what you're supposed to, at the end of the first year, everybody is at about $65K a year. After the end of the first year, at the end of the second year, you're at about $75K. In terms of how much time it takes to get through the program, our program is characterized as a competency-based program. So the faster you learn, the faster you'll move through. But the goal is to try to teach you as much as we can in a 2-year period. But we have graduated people early. No one has ever graduated from our program with making less than 85K. But once again, you get out of it what you put into it. If you work hard, keep your head down, and you stay a part of the program. It's not for the faint of heart, because we work hard, and you're expected to work hard once you're in the program. So
thank you, Tony. Kevin, did you want to talk a little bit about your NAW program?
Yeah, so I put a link into the chat where people can weigh in and let us know that you're interested. What we've been doing is we've been doing intake based on cohorts. So whenever we decide we're going to bring in a group of folks together, we first of all put them through the paces to get a base level certification. So right now, the primary occupation that we're working with is information security analyst, and therefore we ask everyone to we give you free training to get your ISC certified in cybersecurity certificate. You have to pass that exam in order to be considered for advanced training. Much like Tony's program, it's a competency-based program. Our program, our goal is to try and get you there in 1 year or less. And so what we're looking to do is qualify you for an entry level position. And so you learn and earn at the same time. You start at $15 per hour. You determine your own raises each time you get another certification. There are 3 certification levels and 3 wage increases associated with that. So each time you earn a certification, you are qualified for a raise, and that will take you all the way to $30 an hour. Once you complete your work-based learning and all your mentor signs off that you have demonstrated the competencies that you're expected to perform, then we will go ahead and conclude your program with you receiving a journeyman certificate that's recognized by the U.S. Department of Labor nationwide. So each one of you, if you're coming through, will, as you get into the later stages, begin to determine what role you'll be pursuing. Because one of the things we do preach about is this is not about getting a job, this is about getting a career. And a career is vast. There are so many roles available. So we want to make sure you're really clear about what roles are available, what roles you're curious about, and that you begin to network and understand what the people in those roles are doing, because roles vary from company to company. So you can't just go by the title necessarily to know the kinds of work you'll be doing. So we really are excited to be able to show that people are progressing, they are finding success, they are finding jobs and getting into career. This week we'll be posting one of the videos for the young women that have been involved in our program, really talking about the experience that they're having in the program. So I would just say there's a lot of opportunity, as Tony alluded to earlier, that you need to exert yourself to take advantage of. We say we got a launch pad, we got a rocket, but you got to bring your own rocket fuel. So we can't launch it for you, but yeah, you're going to work hard. You're going to receive the rewards of your hard work if you're willing to put it in. So.
Well, we're
Yes.
definitely getting lots of questions. So I just wanted to just ask really quickly, and do we have time, Pastor Randy, for a couple more questions?
Yes, we got 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, perfect. So just to expound on some of the things that you touched on, Kevin, in the way of wages, one of the questions is is the wage rate different for apprentices throughout the program, or is it different from one company to the next? And then also, I know in terms of registered apprenticeship, we have about a 92% retention rate across the board, but in terms of your successes within your organizations and your companies, do you each have a success rate, Tony or Kevin, that you can share? What does success look like within your program? If you could speak to that a little bit.
Well, just speaking in terms of the success rate in our program is that we've got about a 93% success rate of individuals that have come through and go on into cybersecurity apprenticeship jobs. One of the things that we do claim as success is that we've had individuals that were working in IT jobs. Once they found out that they were doing our apprenticeship and training on a part-time basis, the job gave them a raise only if they would stop doing that because they were afraid to lose them. I still view that as being a considerable success. Two of the successes that I really want to talk about are we've got an individual who currently has a high school education, but is sitting in a position at the Environmental Protection Agency that requires a PhD. He's got a high school education. He's got our apprenticeship program, and that's it. And there's only 13 people in this position within the Environmental Protection Agency. All of them have PhDs with the exception of him, and he said he's the best performer there. We also have another individual that came into our program, did our 2-year apprenticeship program, and his next position was being the senior IT auditor for all of Red Hat. We're very proud of those accomplishments, but the thing is that all of these individuals worked very, very hard, really proved themselves. And it's not about how long you've sat in a position. It comes down to employers want you to be able to do something. And when you learn how to demonstrate that you can get something done, your career can move. And these individuals that I'm talking about, they were just able to demonstrate the fact that they moved. Now, once again, there's a difference between your being able to demonstrate that and you're running around with your chest stuck out talking about what you can do. That doesn't do it. Ms. Hobbs talked about that, and I thought she gave a great example. It's not about what you say you can do. It's giving yourself, letting people see the good and hard work that you do. But anyway.
Yeah, so I talked earlier about failing fast and failing often. So when we first started our program, it was the middle of COVID, and we cast a pretty wide net. We wanted to see how is it that people maybe that are have some experience with IT are having success, and others who are just shifting from an entirely different career point are having success. So we ended up with 6 apprentices. Of that 6, one had experience in IT. He successfully completed the program. He's the only one that completed that program, the program in that cohort. But we also had 2 women who had master's degrees in cybersecurity. So they did not complete the program, but they did get certified, and they did land roles in the industry, in cybersecurity industry. So that was 50%. What we learned from that was there needed to be a greater emphasis on maybe some pre-apprentice work. And that's when we started running a pre-apprentice program with NC Works. And we, much like Pastor Randy, focused on things like IT fundamentals in CompTIA, which we got a much higher rate of success with. And again, most recently, the folks that we've been working on the certifications in the ISC squared certified in cybersecurity, we're at 100% success rate there. And we've got some people that are actually preparing for the exam currently. So we're hoping to hold that 100%. Again, the goal is to say, what is it from an individual perspective that makes people successful? We mentioned that this work is not easy. Many of these people are training and working full-time jobs and training at night and doing other things to try and be successful here. So we're sensitive to that, and we're looking at what are the components that come together that help people to be successful at a higher rate. We'd like to have 100% placement rate, but again, realistically, what's going on in the real world for folks is many times their confidence level coming into a program is not high. So we address that by saying, you're going to be highly confident once you're highly competent. But to be highly competent, you are going to have to do the work. There is no shortcut to being skilled. And so that's really the equation that we're working on, and that requires a mindset change. So we do work on a lot of the soft skills, life coaching, talking about what is your why? Do you really want to have a change for your family's income trajectory? Do you really want to send your children to school? And, the things, whatever they are personal to you, that gives you enough drive to get through the hard places. So I would say the success rate is completely dependent upon the people who are engaged, and not as much the people who we have training, we have work-based challenges, we have a set of skills we're going to give you and measure you on, but that is completely dependent on the people. So how do we, as a community, make sure that we have the right mindset so that we're becoming more and more successful? So that's a large part of the work we're doing.
Okay. And just one final thought before we leave, and I would just be remiss without saying that, we also know that women are vastly underrepresented in this industry as well. And Deidre is just a shining example of a woman who has, just really powered through and I just was wondering really quickly, Deidre, if you could just speak of the things that women may struggle with, like, inclusion and belonging or imposter syndrome, and how to overcome and support women in dealing with those things. One of the things that AAUW we pride ourselves on is advocating for women through education and research. But is there something, just some final words you can give to inspire women?
Yeah, I think you touched on one thing that kind of resonated with me. It is belonging. Sometimes you walk into those rooms and you are the only, and just those feelings just start to overwhelm you where you feel like you just cannot complete the job. I've been doing this work for 30 plus years, and there's not I feel that way often. I mean, I'm being very open and transparent. I feel that way often. I think your intuition will start to you'll start to rely on your intuition a lot better, and you'll start to see the red flags and the signals as to when you're doing well. Like I was saying before, when you start to do well, the haters will emerge. You'll see them, and that's, to me, unfortunately, that's how I begin to know that I am doing something right. Unfortunately, is because they come at you with full force. But I encourage everybody to just keep your head down. Like I said before, you want to play chess, not checkers. You have a goal that you want to achieve. You are there to do the work, as Kevin and Tony mentioned before, and that's what you kind of need to just kind of keep top of mind to kind of help you push through those moments when you feel like you don't belong. And then, first of all, Andre, love the testimony. I love it. I love it. I love not only that he's passionate about the work, but he is reaching back to help others. And oftentimes, you feel some people don't want to share their knowledge because they feel like you're trading something very valuable to them that may allow you to, not be as successful, but you will be elevated in more ways than you know. Like I said, those are the people who will be speaking for you when you're not in those rooms, and it is because you've created a space where they did feel like they belong. And I think that's very important to know that sharing information that you may have learned along the years is really benefiting somebody. I'm a sharer. I do that all the time. There has never been a moment when I felt like by sharing my information was I putting myself at a disadvantage. And I feel like everyone on this call should consider that you will be rewarded. It may not be today and it may be later, but you will be rewarded. And like I said, those are the same people that you help will be elevating you when you least expect it. So I would say belonging.
Well, thank you. And thank you all for your inspiring words. I hope that people who are listening on the call feel fearless, to pursue what they're interested in, despite what level you're coming in at. There are people out here that are willing to meet you where you are, right, and bring you into the fold. And so, apprenticeship does that, mentorship does that. There are lots of resources, lots of support out here. Nehemiah Community Empowerment Center is doing some wonderful things. So Pastor Randy is going to share the information about Nehemiah, and also Tony and Kevin have shared their information in the chat. Deidre, if you could share information in the chat as well. I'm certain there are people who might want to just touch base with you just to find out a little bit more about your journey as well. Thank you so much. Pastor Randy, I'm going to hand it to you to do the closing. You're on mute.
Yes. Again, a heartfelt thank you to all of our presenters and Miss Tiffany from ApprenticeshipNC. I am so blessed and pleased with how this went today, and the information that you all shared to the people that are on the line. And I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping us with our apprenticeship week program, and ensuring and making sure that each and every single one has the opportunity to be able to advance in the IT or cybersecurity field. Again, thank you so much. National Apprenticeship Week is on the way and underway. Please make sure you get online to ApprenticeshipNC.com to see more upcoming events that is coming up. And I'm sure you'll be seeing Ms. Tiffany Jacobs on those calls as well. Thank you all for joining us, and each and every single one of you have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.